Hello, hello, Todoroki here. Oh, hey, it's you, newbie. How you doing? Oh, you need help with your quirk homework. Well, I can do my best. So, what do you need to know? So, you just want to know some basic information and some of the quirk types. Yeah, I think I can handle that. Give me just a second. Okay, let's start from the beginning. What is a quirk? A quirk, or a meta ability, is a special superhuman ability that a person or individual can possess. Along with being unique to each user, quirks are compartmentalized into multiple categories. And those categories are transformation quirks, emitter quirks, mutant quirks, and a subcategory, accumulation quirks. Fun fact, the very first person to manifest their quirk was a newborn baby in Xingqing City, China. That baby had the ability to eliminate light from their body. They called them the luminescent baby. It's kind of funny, if you ask me. Light baby. Anyway, since the appearance of Light Baby, the cause of quirks is still relatively unknown. Some people conspirize that there's the existence of aliens, and some scientists say that it was caused by a virus carried by mice. Anyway, nowadays, quirks are more often thought of as the next stage of human evolution, and it has now become possible to diagnose someone with a quirk by looking at their pinky toe. You see, if someone has an extra joint in their pinky toe, that person will most likely end up growing up quirkless. But if they don't have that joint, they'll almost 100% all the time have a quirk. Here's something that they don't always teach you in school. It's easy to forget that quirks are physical abilities. They can be trained and worn out. Best example is, let's say you're trying to go to the gym to work out, to get more swole. But let's say you don't stretch beforehand, and you get a cramp. Well, that's a lot like overusing a quirk. You see, if you don't train or use your body correctly, you'll end up hurting yourself. And sometimes you can cause damage to your body that's permanent. I don't tell a lot of people about this, but sometimes when I overuse my ice quirk and I don't regulate my body temperature with my father's fire quirk, I get frostbite all over my body. And, well, it sucks. Anyway, let's move on to quirk types. Let's talk about the most common one first, emitter quirks. Emitter quirks have a wide variety of properties. You can control, manipulate, or even generate things around you, and even alter them in certain ways. Some examples of emitter quirks, and not to name names, but I have an emitter quirk called Half Hot and Half Cold. And I don't really think I need to go into detail on what my power does, unless you really want it. But the gist is, most emitter quirks, like mine, you could use from all different types of ranges, long range or even close range, and sometimes physical contact to get them to work. There are even some emitter quirks that allow the body to make temporary alterations. They should fall under the transformation class, but the main difference is that these powers require to take an outside source in order for the quirk to activate. Prime example of this is from our very own Sato. He has to take in copious amounts of sugar in order to activate his quirk to give him a strength boost, but it transforms his body to give him more muscle mass. And with this great non sequitur segue, moving all the way down the spectrum to the least common quirk type, transformation quirks. Transformation quirks allow the user to make alterations to their body. Some transformations allow them to enhance physical abilities, remove features from their body, or add new features entirely. Most transformation quirk type users are actually close-up brawlers, and that's mainly up to the user because usually transformation quirk types only affect themselves. Prime examples of that are Kirishima and Tetsu. With their hardening quirks, get your head out of the gutter, newbie, they make themselves more powerful and resistant to most things. But like I said before, quirks are physical extensions of ourselves. If you overwork it, it could put you into serious danger, and may cause permanent damage to the body if you don't exercise restraint. Our alma mater here might be go beyond your limits, but sometimes it is okay to take a break. You cannot go beyond if you are in the great beyond. So remember to take a break every once in a while and drink some water, stay hydrated. And now this brings us to our last quirk type, the heteromorphic, or simply mutant. While it is unsure on how common these quirk types are, it is safely assumed that they are very much commonly inherited. The heteromorphic quirk type is more of an abnormality in the body, and unlike transformation quirks, this change is more permanent and most likely given to you at birth. People with mutant abilities can use more complex and dangerous quirks. That emitter quirks and transformation quirks would be very dangerous to a normal individual, but with someone with a mutant gene, these quirks are made completely safe. Some mutant type abilities are actually completely useless, like in the case of Tokoyami. He has a Tweety Bird-like head, but it's actually completely useless and has nothing to do with his quirk Dark Shadow. He was just born like that, and generations before him were just born with bird heads. It might have had some use in the past, but thanks to Tokoyami's Dark Shadow, there is almost no use for it. Most mutant abilities can be turned off, but in the case of Ojiro's tail and Hagakure's invisibility, though it may cause them some discomfort, they are passively active, meaning you can't turn them off. The upside, if they were ever to fight someone like Mr. Aizawa and his ability to erase quirks, in Ojiro's case he'd still be able to use his tail, and in Hagakure's case, she would remain invisible. And lastly, there's a subcategory of all these quirks, and it's called accumulation. Now this might get a little bit meta, but in order for the accumulation quirks to work, you need to accumulate either time, energy, mass, or a particular resource in order for them to function properly. In the case of Eri, she needs time in order for her quirk to work to its full extent. You know that horn on the top of her head? Well, the bigger that gets means the more powerful her rewind will be, so try not to stand too close to her when her horn's at its biggest. You might just not exist anymore. In the case of Fat Gum, well, that's pretty easy. The fatter he is, the more powerful he is. So, he needs outside resources, in this case food, to get fatter. The more fat he is, the more energy he exerts, and the more powerful he'll be in battle. And no, I won't forget the elephant in the room. We'll talk about the case of Izuku Midoriya and his quirk, One for All. At its core, the quirk is supposed to make you stronger and accumulate energy over time. So with each passing user, the quirk gets stronger and stronger. I know All Might gives Midoriya a bunch of shit for not being able to master the quirk at once like he did, but thanks to All Might, One for All is the strongest it's ever been since the first user. As comical as it is now, that's why Midoriya, and even Bakugo when he had it for a short time, busted all the bones in their body. So it's always been theorized, but All for One also has the hidden ability to stack quirks. In Midoriya's case, as the 9th user, he's the only one that's been able to manifest the other user's quirks. With the exemption of the first user's quirk, the omnipresent ability to pass All for One from one person to another, there are 6 other quirks that Izuku Midoriya could use. 2 are known, that being Black Whip and Float. 4 other quirks are currently unknown. And with the added bonus of being unknown whether Midoriya could use all these quirks at once, time will be the only tell, and we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, newbie, I hope that helped you. There's more to talk about with quirks, so if you ever need help with your homework again, you know how to reach me. Just give me a call. Yeah, I know that was a lot of spoilers, but it had to be done. Anyway, you have a good night. Bye. Hey everybody, it's ja boy, Doki Doki Jukebox. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm sorry I'm such a tardy man. I've been a little sick lately, so getting this out has been a little bit hard. But anyway, I'm glad I was able to put this one out. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a little informative. If you didn't know, or if you knew about this and you wanted to know a little bit more in depth, if you want me to do a video like this again in the future, just let me know. Alright, thanks. Have a good day. Bye.